One of the Bulls' more interesting acquisitions this offseason was Josh Giddey. Well, Josh Giddey and Team Australia just had a big game again against Spain, and we're going to talk about it, break it all down, and more. But first, you got to play that intro.
Tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see red, I see red, I see red, I see red, yeah, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see.
What's going on, Bulls fans, and I guess Team Australia fans as well? At this early hour, I want to break it down. Josh Giddey and Australia just got a win over Spain, 92-80. And again, Josh Giddey, one of the players that the Bulls acquired this offseason that many people are asking, how good would Josh Giddey be for the Chicago Bulls? I've made the comparison a lot to what Lauri Markkanen did in the summer before joining the Utah Jazz, playing for his Finnish national team, and how he really rode that wave into having a season that was the most improved player of the year. Josh Giddey in this game tonight for Australia, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He also went 7 of 12 for the field, a fairly efficient night for him, as well as 2 for 4 from three-point range. Again, all the doubt around Josh Giddey, I understand. Some of the more criticized hate around Josh Giddey, like he can't play the game of basketball, that's where the narrative has gone a little bit too far left when it comes to Josh Giddey. The fact of the matter is, when you're looking at playmaking guards, Josh Giddey can be one of the best. Period. He can be. Now, that doesn't mean that he will be, but he does have that potential. 21 years old, to do what he's done so far in Olympic play, in international play so far this summer, I hope goes a little way, at least, in waking up Chicago Bulls fans. Some that criticize the move for trading Alex Caruso for him a little bit harshly as far as the not getting picks aspect, which I understand. Not getting picks for Alex Caruso sucked. But the player that we got in Josh Giddey, we got to learn to separate our discontent with not getting picks with the player that we actually did get in Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey continues to prove that he is a solid basketball player, and he was simply brilliant in today's game against Australia. You got to go and watch this game and watch this replay. When you talk about true point guardsmanship in the old school sense of how we talk about playmaking, not just looking at the assist number, even though he did have 8, I would say that he probably was about 2 or 3 assists left on the board as well, even though Australia played well overall. Josh Giddey continues to shine. And when you're talking about looking at specifically playing the game of basketball at the point guard level, Josh Giddey brings any and all of that you can possibly ask for. Yes, he's not a three-point shooter. Maybe he can round out to at least being effective. I said it before. If Josh Giddey can just be a decent three-point shooter, he could be a top 10 guard in this league, point guard in this league. And that's just if he becomes a decent. And he can still be a damn good guard, looking at just how well he play makes. The way that Josh Giddey can read a defense and that basketball IQ is near elite. We just got to see it at the NBA level. We got to continue to see that. We got to see how this is going to evolve and develop for him. But outside of that, you also got to give credit for Landale, 9 of 14 from the field, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. He scores 20 points. He leads Team Australia in that. Patty Mills, again, with another big game of 19 points, going 6 of 12 from the field as well when it comes down to that. But this Australia team, when you look at a Spain team, and I know for so long, Spain was kind of looked at as maybe the second best. It was Spain and Argentina. There was a really good teams in international play that always gave the Team USA fits. And, they're not what they once were, but the way that Team Australia in this opening game played, man, this is absolutely crazy. You have to watch him. And like I said, look at the way that he play makes. Don't just look at the result. You got to watch how he processes this game of basketball. And I'm telling you guys, we got us a good one in Josh Giddey. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he doesn't have some major flaws that you need to look at how you're building your roster around. But like I talked about in yesterday's live stream, it's variance, right? The variance in that, how much can their strengths help your team and how much do their negatives impact your team? You have to mitigate those. One of Josh Giddey's negatives that you have that the variance is in is the fact that you need shooters around him. You need players that are going to be willing to attack the ball, attack the basket, move without the ball, but you also need some shooting so that it provides spacing for Josh Giddey to get to work, get to the teeth of the defense, create those open looks. And then as long as you have players as well that are going to cut at the right time and kind of learn how Josh Giddey is trying to manipulate that defense, he's going to make the game easier on a lot of players. And I'm not saying that Josh Giddey is all of a sudden going to be the star that you can build a team around. I'm just saying that he could be a damn good point guard, and he could be one of those players that you look at and say, offensively, we can really build a system off of his skill set, not necessarily around just his skill set, but off the skill set that he offers. yes, the variance between the three-point shooting and the defense that you need to have around him is huge. It's a large gap in that variance. You have to have really key defenders around him and three-point shooters. But as far as his strengths, Josh Giddey's strengths are fucking amazing. They really are. And from somebody who likes the X's and O's part of basketball, I really just appreciate what Josh Giddey brings to the basketball court. And we got to see how he's going to fit in with Kobe, how he's going to fit in with Pat, Modest Bucilis, Zach LaVine. We got to see how that's going to fit in. But a lot of the hate that was thrown on Josh Giddey, I know was rooted in the fact that the Bulls did not get the picks back. And I understand that. That's fine. But the player that we got in Josh Giddey, you got to give this man some credit. The way that he's able to play, man, is crazy. And it's for people who like X's and O's, anybody who's a coach, right? I know for a fact, I would be surprised that anybody who coaches basketball at even a semi-high level does not appreciate the way that Josh Giddey processes the game of basketball. I just would not be surprised in that, man. But you guys can tell me how you feel on that. Let's go ahead and get into some of these comments. Dario Flower says, "What's just looking at your Lonzo episodes? You don't stop." I don't. It is what it is. I don't stop. Early today, 6 a.m. in Iraq as well. Good morning, brother. I told you guys before. I didn't start watching basketball at a high level to have this channel. I started this channel because all I do is sports. 9 times out of matter of fact, if I'm watching TV, it's some type of sport. It's either basketball, football, baseball, football, soccer, as the Americans would call it, or it's horror movies. That's it. That's all I watch. That is my life. Horror movies and sports. That's it. So yeah, I'm definitely up. If a Bulls player is playing, I'm up watching them. And so I was definitely going to be up watching this game. And yeah, I kind of fluctuated back and forth, and if I should go live or if I should pre-record. I didn't know who was going to be up, but I'm glad you guys are in the building. We got 125 people in here at 6 o'clock in the morning, Chicago time. Josh was brilliant. Australia played so much better when he was on the court and running the offense. He's a really damn good point guard. Dude, you're up at 6 a.m. in the morning. When do you sleep? Now that's what I call a true devotion. You already know what it is, Shay. I don't want to hear none of you boys fans who were shitting on this guy when we traded for him, sharing him when the season starts, including myself. I mean, hey, let's hold yourself accountable for sure. Josh reminds me of my creative player, but much better defensively. That's. I mean, listen. Two things: if Josh Giddey can turn into a solid defender, that would change his game. If he can turn into I'll take right below average 3-point shooter, it could change his game a lot as well. C-Red UK, who's two of my favorite people, says, been impressed with him for Australia. We need someone to track his hockey assist. That's that's why. So I don't know if you've seen the episodes. I like to track the open plays created for teammates, right? That's the thing that I like, because that to me tracks, okay, you're generating open shots for your teammates. That doesn't mean they necessarily hit it, but how many open shots are you generating? That's what I like to look at. Good morning, everybody. Please close the chat and hit the like. Thank you for that, Bulls Daily. You know I appreciate you, little bro. Vooch is going to eat next season if he moves like Landale. Giddey has a high IQ and makes the game easier for the rest of the team. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. The Shy says his shot looks better. It does look better. And I know he worked with Peter Patton's mentor. I can't wait to see what he looks like actually working with Peter Patton, if that makes sense. I can't wait to see what that looks like. Corn in the building says, I be thinking I'm the only one up past 4 a.m. Pacific time, working 25/8. My dog stays getting at it. Respect my dog. Hey, this is what I do, man. This is what I do. Haize, get ready for the Aussies, bro. Hey, and I'm welcoming them, bro. Like you already know. I am somebody who I welcome any and all Bulls fans. That's just what it is. I didn't even grow up in Chicago. I grew up in Italy and Germany, right? So, yeah, like I appreciate anybody who's a Bulls fan. Also, his rebounding is one thing, but watch how he boxes out as well. That is a great point, especially for other guards. Like that is a great point. And Josh Giddey being 6'8" and having the length and size that he does could be a huge thing, man. A huge thing, bro. Bulls Daily says that man get up the court so fast too. He don't waste no time. I feel like on this team we need people like Kobe and Josh who would get out in transition after every board. That's a fact. And having three solid rebounding guards. Kobe's a really good rebounding guard. Josh Giddey's an excellent rebounding guard. And Ayo Dosunmu, who started becoming a solid rebounding guard himself. And that's not even to mention if you throw in Lonzo. Do y'all remember Lonzo Ball was our second highest rebounder when he was healthy? People don't remember that. So like, if Lonzo is healthy and he does end up being healthy, that's going to be something that benefits this team as well. Haize, a horror movie guy. My favorite horror movie of all is the original Halloween. That's my favorite horror movie of all time. But this When Evil Lurks movie that I just watched, it's a Spanish language film. That's right up there. Now, like, I know it's a new one, but if y'all haven't seen When Evil Lurks, that shit is crazy. It's like, I'm just gonna put it into perspective. It's a pseudo zombie movie, and you literally see a woman. No, I won't even tell y'all that. But you see a zombie dog completely maul a child when they're just sitting there. It comes out of nowhere. It's literally the whole movie. You just be like, what the fuck? Anyway, I know we're here to talk basketball, but I had to throw that in there, man. He clearly makes all better around him. He's just exactly Josh, and that's why I say I don't want to overstate it, but I definitely don't want to understate it. When you look at just the point guard duties, distributing, getting your teammates open, reading the defense, communication on the offensive side of the ball, Josh Giddey is near elite at all those things. And I'll admit it. I haven't watched a whole lot of Josh Giddey basketball before this. Now, after the trade, I went back and looked at it. I've watched everything he's done internationally. I've even illegally streamed some shit. Don't sue me. Don't come at me. But I've been watching it to see that aspect of it. Because once I saw his playmaking grade, I was like, I got to see what goes into this. And he's really elite at it. Really, really great at it. Speaking of Lonzo Ball, remember he got a triple-double in the second game with the Chicago Bulls against the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, what was that random bit of information for, Shay? By the way, Shay, I've been telling you, so I know you've been having trouble calling into the voicemail line. I just thought about something the other day. So start calling Chicago Bears Central voicemail line and leave your Bull voicemails there, and I'll pull them over since you've had trouble with the Bulls voicemail line. Just go to Chicago Bulls Central, pull that voicemail there, because it's been weird. We haven't had a voicemail from Shay in like 3 months. So there you go, Shay, on that one. Sorry to plug my stuff, but I did an Olympic Games special podcast a few days ago. Hope everyone takes some time to check it out, but I will apologize for the so-so audio quality. Hey, sometimes the content is more important. There have been times where my audio hasn't been necessarily the best, right? I know you guys are probably surprised by that because I'm very anal about my audio quality, but there's been times where it hasn't been the best, but I've literally been like, this content's so good that I'm gonna have to go ahead and pull it out. So that's a crazy statement there. What's up, my boy, Original Candy Man? Hey, Australia is that crazy in that crazy A group. Don't seem fair, but Giddey for Caruso was a steal. We won that all day long. And listen, I do think that, and I've said this on a couple of episodes ago, especially if Caruso does not re-sign with the OKC Thunder, we got to be ready to reformat and reform the way that we look at that trade for absolute sure. So. Hell, I legally watch all Scott games because I quit to Love Sports because League Pass finesses me. That's hilarious. That's funny. Giddey is in Chicago to take Lonzo's spot. Yes, that's what he's here for. That is, and it's not to take it's not Lonzo's spot anymore. You've been gone for 3 years, my boy. It's not Lonzo's spot anymore. But all right, y'all. It's early. I just wanted to get this content out, man. I was excited. I was going to pre-record this, but I'm like, hey, if people are up watching, they probably will want to come in here. If you're new, if you're from Australia and you're watching this because you saw the title and everything, click that subscribe button, man. We're going to be talking about Josh Giddey all season long because he's a member of the Chicago Bulls, breaking it down, things like that, man. I appreciate you guys so much for just everything, man. The support of the channel, the growth of this channel. We're a little over 200 subs away from getting to our goal of 20,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, man, I love you guys. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, man. Thanks to you guys. And